Let's share everybody who's sworn.
You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Tell us your name, please.
Jessie Dotson,
How old are you, Mr. Dawson?
35.
I want to take you back to March the 7th of 2008, as you've heard some people testifying about some conversations you had with police officers, Mason and Stark and Armstrong. Okay? And I want to talk first of all about some of those conversations and some of the things that you said. First of all, when you were talking to officers Mason and Stark, I want to talk about that conversation first. Did you tell them in this conversation that you were at work that day?
Yes, sir.
From about 8 to 3?
Yes, sir.
Did you tell them that after work that you were picked up by Cecil?
Your Honor, I'm object to the leading.
Don't leave, Mr. Skane.
After you, what did you tell them you did after work?
Told my brother picked me up.
Who was your brother?
Cecil Dotson.
Did you tell them you went someplace after that?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you tell them that you went?
To his house.
Everything that you told them up to this point, was it true?
No, sir.
After you went back to his house on Lester Street, what did you tell them happened?
Told him we watched the game.
Did you tell them how you got home that night?
Yes, sir.
What did you tell them? I'm talking about the conversation with Mason. What did you tell her? Do you remember?
I told her he dropped me off.
Was that true?
No, sir.
Now, after this conversation, you heard Officer Armstrong testify. Here in court, you heard Officer Armstrong
Yes, sir.
testify. Okay. You heard him testify about a conversation you had with him on March the 7th.
Yes, sir.
When you had this conversation with Officer Armstrong, how long had you been up in the homicide office?
Wow.
Minutes, hours?
Hours.
Were you handcuffed?
Yes, sir.
Where were you handcuffed? On your leg? Now, in the course of your conversation with Officer Armstrong, you heard him testify about some comments you made in court.
Yes,
You
sir.
heard him testify. Did he play a tape for you of your nephew saying your name?
Yes, sir.
Did he play a tape for you? Did he play any other part of your nephew's tape for you? Did he play the part of your nephew's tape where he identified other people?
No, sir.
So Officer Armstrong had a tape recorder with him when he was up there?
Yes, sir.
At any point did Officer Armstrong yell at you?
Yes, sir.
Did he swear at you?
Several times.
Did he pound on the table?
Yes, sir.
After he did this, you heard him testify about, you told him at that point, after this happened, that your brother Cecil reached for a shotgun and you just started shooting.
Yes, sir.
Something to that effect. You told Officer Armstrong that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
He didn't make that up.
No, sir.
And then he testified that you made some comments about you stabbed the children or stuck the children because they saw you.
Yes, sir.
And that you got the knives from the kitchen.
Yes,
He
sir.
testified to. And then he testified that you asked for your mother. That
Yes, sir.
happened, right? You
Yes,
did
sir.
ask for your mother. And your mother testified that you told her you got a gun. I mean, you had a gun. Cecil set his gun down and you just started shooting, right?
Yes, sir.
And you actually said that, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
On March the 7th. And then you told your mother that you stuck the children because,
No, I object to the leading.
Don't lead, Mr. Scott.
what did you tell your mother about the children?
I told her I stuck 'em.
Yeah. I want to take you back. I want to start to the day before. Did you hear the police officer testifying, Officer Stephanie, about an incident involving you and a gun, putting the gun to your head and saying you were going to kill yourself?
Yes, sir.
Did that event happen?
Yes, sir.
You heard the officer or your friend testify that you made the comment, "I'm not going back to prison for something I didn't do."
Yes, sir.
Did you say that?
Yes, sir.
You heard the witness say that you said something to the effect of, I should have just died with my brother.
Yes, sir.
Did you make that comment?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to go back. When you were, the day before that, on March the 5th, you interviewed with the police.
Yes, sir.
And if you remember, on that March the 5th, from the first time you went in to talk to the police until the time you left that March 5th interview, were they videotaping you? Were they
Yes, sir.
taping you?
Yes, sir.
On March the 7th, when you went in and spoke to the police, from the very beginning of the interview, at about 6 or 7 o'clock, whenever they testified to, until 2-something in the morning, when they testified you were done. Did they videotape that entire event?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk. The comments you made to Officer Armstrong. From the time you first said to him that you shot your brother Cecil. From that, I want to go back before that. In the same conversation with Officer Armstrong, the time before you said that. How many hours had you been up there, to your knowledge, before that?
It was a long time.
Okay. How many hours before that was Officer Armstrong screaming?
He didn't start out screaming.
He didn't start off screaming.
No.
How long into the interview did he begin screaming?
Well, he asked a lot of questions. When he first started screaming, he was screaming about my family. He said he tired of us bullshitting around. You know, he said we playing games. We've been playing games since this investigation started. You know, and I told him I wasn't with my family when he interviewed my family. And he said, you know, we bullshitting. He's sick of it. He wants some answers, and he wants them now.
At what point did Officer Armstrong begin pounding on the table that you remember?
After he played the tape.
Were you free to leave?
No, sir.
In the hours leading up from when you first got there on March the 7th, talking to officers, up until the time, I think Officer Armstrong testified it was about 1:30 in the morning, that you first told him that you shot your brother Cecil. Tell the jury leading up to that point what you were telling Officer Armstrong.
I didn't do it.
Did Officer Armstrong tell you how long he was going to keep you there until you told him that you did it?
Well, actually, I asked to see my mom about 3 times. He told me I wasn't seeing nobody until I give him what he want to know. Tell him what he want to know.
Were you upset
Yeah.
during this whole time? Were you in your right mind this whole time? Well, let me ask that a different way. Let me back up and ask it a different way. From the time your brother and his family's bodies were discovered until the time that you interviewed with Officer Armstrong, how much sleep did you have?
None.
Had you cried about what happened yet?
Yeah.
Had you mourned about it?
Yeah.
Were you still mourning about it?
Yeah.
Were you depressed?
Yeah.
Was the event the day before when you put the gun to your head and said, I'm not going back to prison for something I didn't do, and told everybody you were going to kill yourself? Was that the only time during that 3 or 4 day period that you actually came that close to killing yourself?
I'm still going to object to the leading, please.
You're still leading, Mr. Scanlon.
How many times in between the discovery of your brother and his family's bodies and the interview by Officer Armstrong did you attempt to commit suicide?
After the first interview.
When you told Sergeant Armstrong that you shot your brother Cecil, was it the truth?
No, sir.
Have you ever testified in a courtroom before?
No, sir.
Your cousin, do you have a cousin named Tammy Randall?
Yes, sir.
We'll talk a little bit about Tammy Randall. In the months or the weeks leading up to your brother dying, did you have occasion to be around your cousin Tammy Randall?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the name of the street that she lived on?
Merton.
Murray. Was that close to where you lived?
Right down the street.
Now, do you know who her boyfriend was around this time?
Yes, sir.
What was his name?
Brian.
Let me show you a picture. Who was that?
Vernon.
Vernon Motley?
Yes, sir.
Now, at some point during the weeks leading up to this, did you become aware that the police were looking for Vernon Motley?
Yes, sir.
Were you ever around an area where the police were looking for Vernon Motley?
Yes, sir.
Where?
And my cousin,
Which cousin?
Tammy.
Did the police tell you why they were looking for Vernon?
Well, no, my cousin did.
Did you become aware of why the police were looking for Vernon?
Yes, sir.
Why were they looking for him?
Murder.
Do you know of whom?
E, that's all I know.
Did you know who E was?
No, sir.
Did your cousin Tammy Randolph give you something to hold?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury what she gave you.
A gun,
What kind of gun?
a 44.
What did you end up doing with that gun? Did you still have it?
Yes, sir.
Did you at some point get rid of it?
Yes, sir.
How?
Well, she called me and asked me did I still have it. I told her yes. She told me to give it to my other cousin.
Did you give it to your other cousin?
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Antonio.
Talk a little bit about your brother, Cecil. Was your brother Cecil in a gang?
Yes, sir.
What gang?
Gangster Disciple.
At some point in your life back in the 90s, did you join a gang?
Yes, sir.
What was the name of the gang you joined?
Kitchen Crips.
Kitchen Crips.
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about what happened on March 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Let's start on that Saturday. Did you work that Saturday?
Yes,
You
sir.
remember? Okay. Where did you work and who did you work for?
I worked with my daddy. And we was working on a house in Midtown.
What did you do? What kind of work?
We did remodeling houses, painting, drywalls, all that.
After work that day, did anybody pick you up?
Yeah,
Who picked you up?
Cecil.
Where?
And my sister.
Sister Nicole?
Yes, sir.
What street does she live on?
Goodwill Lane.
Goodwill Lane. Okay. Was anybody with your brother Cecil when he picked you up?
Yes, sir.
Who was with him?
Two of his boys,
Which two boys?
Man and Samario.
Now did you know all of your brother's kids?
Yes, sir.
After your brother picked you up, where did you go? Or what did you do?
After he picked me up, we stopped at the liquor store, got some Hennessy, then we went straight to his house.
His house, the one back on Lester Street.
Yes, sir.
Who else was there when you got back to his house?
Just Marissa and the other kids.
How long did you stay at the house?
A while.
Did anybody else come over?
Yes, sir.
Who came over?
My dad, Fat came over. He got dropped off.
All right, let's back up a little bit. Your dad, what do you call him?
Jesse,
And your brother, Fat,
William,
William, and E. Did you stay there that evening?
yes, sir.
For how long?
All these.
All evening. Okay. What was everybody doing?
Well, we was barbecuing. Well, Marissa left. She left the house to go grocery shopping.
Okay.
We sit there, we drank, smoked, put some hot dogs on the grill. Well, smoked sausage, put some smoked sausages on the grill. E and my brother discussed, the gun that Frank was holding for him. They discussed that. My brother talked him into going to get it.
Okay, well, Did your dad and your brother leave at some point?
Yes.
Do you remember about what time that was?
Well, my pop left a little after the game went off.
What happened next? Did you stay in the house? Did you leave?
Well, we was outside listening to the game on the radio.
Okay.
Once the game went off the radio, we all came in the house, sit down, talk for a little while. Pop got up, went outside. Bruh got up, went behind him. You know, then Pop left, Bruh came back in. I was still sitting in the house, me and E.
Brother,
Cecil,
you called him.
Wayne.
What happened next?
Well, we was sitting in there. Well, actually, we went in the kitchen
Right,
because we was hungry.
right.
So we went in there. He asked me for some clothes. Because he had just got out of jail. He asked me for some clothes. My brother said, I got some clothes in there. And he was like, I can't fit your clothes. And my brother was like, all of us were the same size. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I didn't know. Bruh told me he can go in the back, take a shower, clean up and stuff.
So Hollis, if I understand you, you call E. Just gotten out of jail, he needs some clothes, so he got cleaned up and put on some clothes.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't. He said he'll do it later on.
Did you end up leaving the house at some point?
Yeah.
Do you remember at what time?
All I know is it was dark outside.
Did you leave alone or did you leave with other people?
I left with Hollis and my brother.
Who in whose car?
Cecil's.
Cecil's car. What kind of car was it?
A Lincoln.
Okay. Where did you go first?
To Frank's house.
And when you say Frank, was that the same individual who testified this week or last week, whenever it was, in this trial, Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Willie Boyd.
Yes, sir.
When you went to his house, do you know where he lived?
Did I know where he lived?
Right.
I didn't know the apartment's name, but I do now.
What was the name of the apartment?
Barclay.
And what happened once you got to the Barclay Apartments?
Well, when we got there, he got out, and it was another male coming down the steps. My brother got out, approached him. They was talking about Frank and the incident that happened on February the 14th.
This other individual that was coming down the stairs, do you know who that individual was?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you get out of the car or stay in the car?
I sit in the car.
Out of the car. Okay. Hollis, was he in a gang to your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
What was he?
Gangster disciple.
The individuals that were at this apartment complex, at Frank's apartment, are you aware of whether or not they were in a gang?
Yes, sir.
What gang were they in?
The gangster disciples.
Now, you told us that a man was coming down the stairs to talk to your brother. Where did Hollis go? Or what did Hollis do?
Hollis went to Frank's apartment.
Went up to Frank's apartment.
Yes, sir.
How long did he stay in Frank's apartment?
A while. About 30 to 40 minutes.
Do you know what the purpose was of bringing Hollis to his apartment?
To get a gun.
To get a gun. Hollis came back out at some point.
No, I went and got him.
You went and got him.
Yes, sir.
Well, to explain to the jury what happened, you went and got him. What do you mean?
Well, my brother and this other guy was downstairs in the parking lot. The other guy wasn't arguing with my brother, but my brother was arguing with him. He wasn't arguing with my brother. He was basically trying to calm my brother down, letting my brother know that, you know, he messed with Frank, he messed with him. My brother was telling him, you don't mess with me. You know, if you mess with him, if you was my nigga, he said, you wouldn't let me stand this close up on you. He said, my real nigga, you wouldn't be able to get this close up on me.
Well, I want to explain some of this terminology for the jury. When an individual in this gang says something about messing with my nigger, what does that mean?
Well, at the time, my brother and Frank was into it.
Okay.
And my brother took it as he felt like this guy supposed to be with him. That's like he told E. That's why E went to get the gun.
your brother arguing with this individual, was that common or uncommon for your brother to argue with people?
It's common.
After the argument or the conversation with Cecil and this other individual stopped, is that the point you went and got Hollis? What happened? Explain to the jury what happened next.
Well, I was sitting in the car. The guy saw me sitting in the car. He asked my brother who was that sitting in the car. My brother told him that's my brother. He waved at me. I waved back at him. And him and my brother still out. Well, my brother was arguing. He tried to hug my brother. You know, he was trying to hug him. My brother was saying, I don't know why you trying to hug me. I don't know why you trying to hug me. And my brother pulled his shirt up, you know, and told him, I ain't got nothing on me. And he told him, I know you got a pistol on you. He said, I ain't got nothing on me. He said he want to fight Frank. He told him to go up there and get that fat mother. You know, bring him down here. I just want to fight. I don't want no weapons or nothing. We can just fight. I just want to show him I ain't no punk. And by this time, he was in a black Impala. The dude, the light-skinned guy, he was in a black Impala. By this time, he went to his Impala, and my brother yelled out, y'all know where I stay at. You know, came to the car, got in the car. Me and him laughed, and I told my brother that the phone rung, and Frank's number popped up. Frank's name popped up. And he said, I don't know what he called me for. Phone rung again. Frank's name popped up. I answered it. It was E. He said, where y'all at? We still out here in the parking lot. So he like, I thought y'all left. No, we still out here waiting on you. I hang the phone up. My brother was telling me how he just punked dude. Dude got a gun on him. You know, he just punked him. You know, we laughed. And I told my brother, shh, I ain't go up there and get E. He said, I'm not going up there. You know I ain't going up there. You go up there and get it. So I got out the car and went up there and knocked on the door. They came to the door, opened the door, let me in. There's another guy in there. There's a guy in there I didn't know. Trail was in there. Frank was in there, and Tammy was in there. Frank and Trail came to the living room where I was. The other guy was walking through the hallway, and I told E, we ready. He said, y'all ready? And he came on out with me. We went to the car and left.
When you left that apartment, it was still the three of you, or was it still the three of you?
Three of us.
Where did you go next?
To Sheila's house.
And who was Sheila?
That was my girlfriend at the time.
Do you remember the name of the street she lived on?
Silver.
What happened when you got to Sheila's house? What did you do?
Well, we got out the car. Me and my brother got out the car. Went in. I was looking for Sheila. She wasn't there. And her daughter told me I could look around. I looked in her room. She wasn't in her room. So her daughter jumped in front of her bedroom door. So I said, why are you jumping in front of the bedroom door? You said I can look around. So she moved out the way. She went in her mom's room. I opened up the bedroom door. Her boyfriend was sitting on the floor. She didn't have a bed in there at the time. He had just moved in there. He was sitting on the floor. He had his pants halfway down. So I told him, I said, oh, I'm sorry. I bagged out. So she got to cussing me out, you know, and I told her I was sorry. And my brother told her, you know, he in love, you know, he drunk, he in love. She was like, this ain't no motherfucking love. Love don't make you. So, you know, we left. We didn't stay. We left there, went to my son's house.
Okay. You went to your son's house next. What's your son's name?
Jessie. Well, we didn't go to his house. We went to his grandmama's house.
What's his grandmother's name?
Merle.
How long did you stay at his grandmother's house?
We didn't stay there 5 minutes. He wasn't there. He was at his auntie's.
Did you see his grandmother? Did you see anybody there?
Yeah. Saw his sister and his grandma.
Where did you go next?
Went and picked Sandra up.
Where was that? Do you know?
It's right next to G.E. Patterson Church. Some apartments right next to G.E. Patterson Church.
Why were you picking up Shindri? Who was she in relationship to the three of you?
E. Was picking her up for E.
Was it his sister, his mother, his girlfriend? Who was it?
His girlfriend.
Where did you go after picking up Shindry?
Well, when Sandra got in the car, she asked if we had some weed. Said nah. Said we just left Franknum house, and brother said he not going back to Franknum house. So he said he got somewhere to go. That's when we went to the Chemical Bounds.
Kimball Cabana apart. Is that an apartment complex?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do at Kimball Cabana Apartments?
Well, we pulled up. My brother got out the car. Well, Sandra said she had $15. And I gave $30, which we spent $45.
Buying marijuana.
Yes, sir. So my brother got out the car, come back to the car, told me to get out the car. He wanted me to meet some of his folks. So I got out the car, went in the apartment. He introduced me to some of his folks.
All right, let me back you up a little bit here. The apartment you went into, is that the apartment you bought marijuana from?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you use the term folks, when your brother said, these are my folks, what does that term mean, folks?
Gangster disciples.
How many folks were in that apartment?
4.
Did you know them before you went into that apartment?
No, sir.
How long did you all stay in that apartment?
Well, we stayed in there about 10 minutes.
When you left, how many people left in your car with you?
4?
4. The same 4? You, your brother, Hollis, and Shindley.
Yes, sir.
Where did you go next?
To, I don't know her name, but I described her to the detectives as a big girl.
Was it the young lady that testified earlier this week?
Yes, sir.
Did you go to her house or apartment? Did you see her on the street? Where did you see her?
A house.
House. Let me back you up a little bit before this. Had you seen Erica Smith that night up to this point?
Yes, sir.
Back up. Where did you see Erica Smith?
In the Chemical Bounds.
The place you bought the marijuana?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where was Erica Smith?
When we came out the apartment, she was standing in the driveway, and my brother went and met her in the driveway. I went back to the car, and I was sitting in the car. Me and E and them was sitting in there laughing. I was like, she must have smelled, bruh. So I opened the car door and I hollered her name. I said, Erica. She said, who is that? I said, it's Junior. She came around there on my side. She was trying to see who was in the car. You know, she was trying to see. So I said, you must have smelled, bruh. She was like, nah, he called me and told me he was out here. I was like, oh. So she turned around, walked back, and she come back and said, who is that in the car? And E hollered out, this E. You know, she spoke to him, and she wanted to know who the girl was in there. Told her who that was. She spoke to her, went on back around there where bruh was. Her and bruh stood there about 5 more minutes. He came and got in the car. When he got in the car, he was on the phone talking to her.
And then you left. You told us you went by this other girl's place. How long did the 4 of you stay there?
Well, when we got there, I said it was about 40 minutes.
From there, where did you go?
To his house.
Okay. Did all 4 of you go back to his house?
Yes, sir.
When you arrived at his house, who was there?
Marissa. The kids.
Marissa and the kids.
Yes, sir.
Did all of you go inside of the house when you got there?
Yes, sir.
Now, what room did you go into when you first got home?
The living room.
Who all was in the living room?
Me, my brother, Hollis, Marissa, and Sandria.
What were all of you doing?
Sitting in there. Well, Marissa was drinking a wine cooler. Sandria was finna get ready to roll some weed up. We was talking, well, me and my brother was talking about a family reunion. We was talking about some clothes, you know, we was gonna go and buy some clothes for this family reunion. Then we got on about his daughter's birthday.
Whose daughter's birthday?
My brother,
What was his daughter's name?
Sierra.
Do you know how old Sierra is?
Now,
Yeah.
about 14 or 15.
Now, was her birthday around this time?
It's the next day.
Next day. How long did the five of you stand in the living room visiting that you know?
Say about 20, 25 minutes.
Where did you go next, or did you go anyplace from there?
Well, my brother asked Marissa to go and put some sheets on the bed. He told Marissa that he was gonna give Sandria and Hollis the room, and they was gonna sleep in the living room,
Which room you talking about?
the room in the back.
Who asked her to put sheets on?
Cease asked Marissa to put some sheets on the bed, change the sheets, and Marissa was like, so I said, I'll put the sheets on the bed, I'll clean the room up for him and stuff. So I went back there.
You went back to that room.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you, if I could ask him to step down to this model down here in front of you.
Right.
Jesse, come on down. This model of this house right here, you recognize that as the house on Lester Street. Now, the living room area that you all were talking about, show me where you're talking about. And when you all were visiting in there, what part of that room were you in? All over it, or just part of it?
Standing in here.
Okay. Now, the back bedroom that you talked about, show that where you put the sheets on the bed. Tell Jerry what that is. Is there only one way to get back to that room?
Yes.
Is there any exit out of that back part of the house back here?
Yes.
Where?
Here. You come out to here.
All right, have a seat back up there. Now, when you went back to that bedroom, what did you do?
I went in that bathroom right there because I was going to start in the bathroom, but actually it was clean.
Okay.
So, you know, I actually started laughing because I said it's the cleanest room in the house.
Okay.
So I was standing right there. So as
Come on
I,
back, I'm sorry. Come on back down here. Where you were sitting. When you say the bathroom back there, which bathroom?
Right here.
This bathroom right back here.
Yes,
Okay.
I was standing right here.
On this side of the bed, by the door.
It's a quilt right here.
Right.
Quilt. I had this quilt in my hand. By this time, you know, I heard gunfire.
Okay. Let me see back there. All right. See, when you're back there, that's my next question. When you're back there, standing beside that bed with that quilt, what did you hear?
It was approximately 2 to 3 shots.
Okay. Did you have a gun with you at the time?
Yes, sir.
Which gun?
44.
What did that gun look like? What color was it?
It was the exact color that Ty Marty got on.
That's blue, right?
The exact color.
Now, you heard a couple shots.
Yes, sir.
What did you hear or what did you see next? What happened?
Well, I heard screaming. After I heard screaming, I got under that bed right there.
Tell me what else you heard.
Well, it was a lot of noise in this room. Can I get
Back there. So the jury's clear on it. I think you told us you got under this bed right here.
Yes, sir.
And you're hearing noise coming from one part of the house.
Bed right here. I heard noise in here, which later on I found out was the dog. It was the puppy.
Okay, so this room right here, there's a dog. Is it in a cage or is it loose?
It's in the cage.
So where else you hearing noise from?
Well, you're not gonna hear too much noise up here, back here,
Okay.
but you're gonna hear gunshots. So, yeah, after I heard the first couple shots, it was seconds later after you heard the other shots.
With the shots coming from the front of the house?
Yes.
All right, appreciate that. Now, how many shots did you think you heard?
It was a lot of them.
Do you know the sound of gunfire, different guns?
I'm not going to say know the sound of them. You know the sound of a gunshot. I'm not going to say, you could determine. Well, I can't.
You can't determine the difference between a 380 and a 9mm and a
No,
22 and a 45?
No, sir.
Okay. You talked about screaming. Explain to the jury what you mean by that. What did you hear?
Well,
Screaming.
it was a girl that was screaming. And when I heard her screaming, I got under that bed.
The screaming and the gunshots. What did you hear after that?
Nothing. It got silent in there.
After it got silent, what did you do?
Well, I laid there for a minute.
What?
Shh. Was you gonna keep waking up under there, or was you gonna stay up under there? But I heard noise in that room right there, so I wasn't gonna come out of there and you still hearing noise. So I laid there until
Come on back down. When you say noise in the other room, tell me what. This is after the gunshot and the sounds have stopped. All right. And you're still under the bed. Where are you hearing noise from? Is it still the dogs in there, or a dog in there, or is it different noise?
dog in here, and he had paper in his cage, and that's what you was hearing, that paper from his cage. And it actually sounded like somebody in there walking around.
Did you hear any noise from these parts of the room up here? Were you able to hear any noise
No, sir.
from the other rooms?
No, sir.
Now, did you eventually come out from under the bed?
Yes, sir. After I realized that there was that dog in there, yes, sir.
What did you think had happened?
Well, what I saw, I didn't think happened.
Now, I want you to think back about what you saw. When you came out of that bedroom, where did you go?
Into the living room.
You saw the pictures that were put up here.
Yes, sir.
Is that what you saw?
Yes, sir.
Did you think the people were alive or that they were dead?
Dead.
Did you see the children?
Yes, sir.
Did you think that they were alive or dead?
Dead.
Did you go into every room?
Well, not every room, but I went in the back room.
The back bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
Did
the
you went
bathroom.
you went into the bathroom?
Yes, sir.
Did you touch anything when you went into the bathroom?
No, sir. Didn't touch nothing in there.
Did you see your nephew, CJ, in the tub?
Yes, sir.
At this point, Jesse, tell the jury, what are you thinking? What is going through your mind?
Shh, I'm finna get up out of there.
How did you get up out of there?
On that bike right there.
Where was this fight?
In the living room behind the door.
Come on back. In the living room. Come on over here. He's in the living room behind the door. Show me what door you mean.
This door is open. This door is wide open. This is straight. It's not a counter like it's straight.
Straight.
You have some more stuff back here, like boxes or something like that. And you got the light in.
So this This front, is that the front door of the house?
Yes,
You said it's wide open.
yes,
And the bike is sitting there. Did you take the bike out that front door? Is that where you?
yes, sir.
And where did you go?
To Sheila's house.
Do you know how long it took you to ride to Sheila's house? Any idea?
No, sir.
When you got to Sheila's house, what did you do?
Knocked on the door.
Did somebody let you in?
Yes, sir.
Who let you in?
Kiara.
Did you have a conversation with Kiara?
Yeah.
You heard her testify as to what happened when you came home.
Mm-hmm.
That you knocked on her door asking if you could talk to her.
Yes, sir.
And then you ended up eventually going to bed, and getting up and not going to work the next day. Is that?
Well, when she let me in, I went in her mom's room. She went in her room.
Right.
I ran to the bathroom. I threw up in the sink.
You threw up in the sink at Sheila's house.
Yes, sir.
What did you do then?
That's when I got a bleach bottle out of the closet. It was a towel in there. I grabbed the towel, poured bleach on the towel, cleaned the sink, brushed my teeth, and went back in there. And when I went back in there, I knocked on her door and told her I need to talk to her.
Did you talk to her? Did you end up having that conversation?
No, sir.
Jesse, I want you to tell the jury how come you didn't call the police.
Well, it's like this. Y'all done heard testimony about gangs. I'm in a gang. We don't call the police. It's just that simple. We don't call the police. It's not part of what we do. If I call the police, I'll be just like my brother.
What do you mean you were just like your brother?
I'll be just like him, dead.
When you were at Sheila's house and the next day, when you were talking to members of your family and stuff, did you have any knowledge at that time that any of those children were still alive?
No, sir.
Well, I've asked you why you didn't call the police when you were brought in to talk to the police on March the 5th. Why didn't you tell them what happened?
Don't talk to police.
Well, you ended up talking to them on March the 7th. And we've already talked about what you told them. So you actually, I mean, you did talk to him that day. But
Yes.
did you ever consider telling him what actually happened?
At one point, yeah. Actually, it was Davis that I actually was gonna tell in the first interview, the very first interview.
What made you not do that?
After the interview, well, when my brother came up there,
Which brother?
Fat William, when he came up there, they asked me, was it all right for them to talk to him? I said, sure. You know, I ain't got no problem with talking to him. So when he got there, they let me and him come in the room together. And my brother was telling him stuff that he hadn't heard. So he want to know, how did he hear it? You know, where you hear it from? He told me, he got it from Frank. So I asked my brother, did he know Doc's name? Because that's what we was trying to figure out, Doc's real name. And
Did you eventually find out Doc's real name?
I tried, and I think Sierra's mother told me, which we call her Lily. I think she told me. I talked to her when I got home. But when we left the interview, the thing that made me mad when we left the interview, we was riding home, and my brother was on the phone with this girl that he left at his apartment. And she said, "Where you at?" He said, "I'll be there in a minute." He said, "I'm finna drop my brother off and I'll be there." She said, "Your brother?" He said, "Yeah." She said, "Your brother who?" And he said, "Jessie." He said, "You know the one you met?" He said, "You met her." And she said, "You riding in the car with the killer. You riding in the car with the killer." So he started laughing. He said, "Man, she talking about they got you on TV saying you riding in the car and that you the killer." And he like, "Nah, I just picked him up from down there. If he done something, they would have kept him." And she said, "No, they got him on the news. They got him on the news." So we went on to where we was going, and when we got to where we was going, the guy there said, "Yeah, they got you all over the news." I said, "Me?" He said, "Yeah." So I had Davidson card. So my brother was like, "Well, call him, see what's going on." At this point, I said, "Fuck him." You know what I'm saying? At this point, fuck, I just through dealing with them. So we proceeded on to my sister's house. Asked them have they saw it on the news. Had they been throwing me on the news? He said, "Yeah, we saw it. I saw it." We went and got on the computer and looked it up on the computer. And there it was on the computer. So everybody like, "Well, we know you ain't did this, don't worry about it."
Well, let me ask you, after that about I want to go back to March the 6th with when you had the gun to your head and you were talking about suicide. Were you on the TV at that day, at that house?
Yes, sir.
Being shown? Were they showing your face?
They were showing my face since the first interview. Since the time I left the first interview, they have been showing me on the news from that day on.
And this was before you were ever arrested?
Yes, sir.
A couple days before you were ever arrested?
Yes, sir.
So when you put your gun to your head and made that comment that the jury's heard about not going back to prison for something I didn't do, the news had been showing you photographing and talking about this case?
Yes, sir.
Was there a lot of news coverage?
Yes, sir.
I could have one moment, Your Honor.
All right.
Jessie, when they back to the suicide, when the police came that day, did they offer to take you to a hospital or anything?
No, sir.
Or a mental hospital or anything?
No, sir.
You love your brother?
Yes, sir.
Jessie, did you kill your brother?
No, sir.
Did you kill the other people in that house?
No, sir.
That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
Any recess?